Man, Denis lost 8 centimeters from bicep and 8 from forearm since 2019. Also, if he had all his other moves in his arsenal like before, would it be different?
Yeah, it'd be a bit different, but I still would have beat him. I'll tell you, in that grip up, when I bumped my shoulder inside, there was a stop there.
So there we have it, guys. Devon has just answered one of the most famous questions about him. Who would win between Prime Devon and Prime Denis Cyplenkov? Not only did Devon say that he would win that super match, but he also said that even the 2018 version of him would stand a chance against Denis, and that match would have been on. People are like they're sure I would have lost in 2018 to him. I'm not sure that I would have lost in 2018 to him, even in the state that I was then. I think I would beat any form of him. I really do. Well, that's kind of a bold statement. If you ask me and most of the arm wrestling fans who would win between Prime Devon and Prime Denis, I think many will say, including me, that Devon may be a very slight favorite, just about like 52 to 48% against Denis. I think Devon will still be on the offensive in that match, but if Denis hits the King's move, especially when the strength gap is reduced, Devon can run into some endurance problems, but somehow he would still find a way to win that match. But the 2018 version of Devon, I mean, that's really difficult to believe, because Devon himself said that on the left arm, Denis was about 30% stronger than him. So I'm not sure if at that time, Devon's right was 30% or even 20% more stronger than his left arm. And until the gap was really that big, he wouldn't have had any chance that day. But to be honest, there is no end to this debate. No solution except for one which Devon gave in that interview. Devon said that I am 48 years old and Denis is 41. If it is meant to be that Denis beats him, then he has all the time in the world, and I do totally agree with that. It is not Devon's fault that Denis kind of ruined his body, he got injured, he got sick. It's not probably Denis Cyplenkov's fault either, at least not completely, but Devon has nothing to do with that. And if Denis cannot make a comeback while being younger than him, then it's totally on him and not Devon. Devon will be considered the superior athlete in their prime. Because it will be like Johan Blake telling Usain Bolt that just because Blake has entered his 30s and he has some injuries, that's why he couldn't beat Bolt, who is much older than him. Then it's not because of the age and because of the injuries. It's really because he was that much better than Blake. And I think that example fits perfectly here as well. Devon did really go into 1 month of pure priest mode, monk mode, just detaching himself from everything to prepare for Denis Cyplenkov. I woke up, I lifted heavy things, I went to bed thinking that my arm was gonna break. I would wake up in the morning and I would do it over again. I surpassed all my records by about 5 or 10%. This match was really important for my career. I didn't want to lose this one. That's how seriously he was taking even this version of Denis Cyplenkov. Even though he did agree in the interview that Denis was probably not at his best, but he said that it wouldn't have mattered that day. He would have beaten any version of Denis that ever existed. Although Devon did say that Georgi is going to be a much difficult match for him than the Denis match, but still he believes that Denis will beat Georgi Svetkov because Georgi is not versatile enough to finish Denis Cyplenkov. So if we talk about Devon's further plans, he said that he will have the Levan match after this Georgi match and no match in between these two because he's taking that Levan match that much seriously. And after he beats Levan, he will look for the 105 kg belt and maybe even the 95 kg belt. He said he can make 115 kilos tomorrow, 105 kg with just 1 week of water cut, and 95 kg will be new territory for him, but he can still make that weight cut. And they're planning on delaying the documentary even further, or maybe there is going to be a second part for it, which only makes sense because when the documentary ended after his loss against Levan, that wasn't a good ending, so they extended it up to the Prudnik victory match. But then after that, Devon did even greater things. Yes, he lost to Gennady, but he beat Denis Cyplenkov, took the revenge, he beat Hermes Gasparini, and now he's probably thinking about beating Levan Saginashvili as well. So it only makes sense to extend that documentary further, which will have a perfect ending. But if Devon loses to Levan once again, then maybe the documentary will stop at the Denis Cyplenkov win. And little bit off topic, but it is important. Devon was the one who called out Babkan for an MMA match about a dozen different times. He requested Core Sports for that. I was kind of against that match because it's not really a good thing to do, and these two are not professional fighters. Plus, to make that thing work, it would be difficult. But right now, on December 9th, both Babkan and Devon are going to be in Dubai, and that's where Devon wanted that match. Now Babkan is still calling out Devon for that super match, but Devon is backing out of it. I don't know the reason for that, but I think right now Devon should accept that.
It still is. Babkin sends me messages like he wants to fight me still, and
Really?
oh yeah, I just got a message.
And the thing is that this match doesn't deserve to be on a big stage, and it's not really easy to have a MMA match on a small stage, because there are still going to be some documentation around the injuries and stuff and a bunch of other things, so it wouldn't be possible to make this match small. So would you like to see Devon follow up on what he said a few weeks ago and have that match with Babkan, or do you think it's a waste of time? Please mention in the comments, like the video and subscribe.